Greetings and welcome to the Culture Ward, where we dissect and dismantle pop culture in all its forms. 'Tis the season for creepy and spooky, and it's thus time to pull out our favorite Halloween movies to prepare for that scariest of holidays. From terrifying horror stories to morbid and gothic comedies and dramas, there are season-specific treats to satisfy everyone's thirst. Join us as we reveal our 10 favorite Halloween movies. Before we begin, please take a second to hit that subscribe button and help us grow the channel. As always, it really means a lot to us. And don't forget to like and share the video if you enjoy the content. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so let's start out by defining our parameters. Most, quote, best of Halloween movie lists on the internet seem to be just a collection of horror movies, most having no connection to the actual holiday at all, and many more just set sometime around Halloween, like in the fall. Now, I will be doing a top 10 list of horror movies in the coming weeks leading up to Halloween, but we are going to focus this list on actual Halloween movies. First off, they aren't all necessarily horror movies. There are valid Halloween movies from other genres. Next, either the main action takes place on Halloween, Halloween is a significant plot point, or at the very least, the movie is connected to it in a substantial way. Like, you'll see, one or two may not exactly fit the other criteria, but are so closely connected to Halloween as to be undeniably Halloween movies. Anyway, let's get into it. Starting us off at number 10 is a movie that isn't typically associated with Halloween, The Karate Kid from 1984. Starring Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita, it follows a teenage Daniel LaRusso as he moves from New Jersey to Los Angeles with his mother and encounters a group of karate-wielding bullies called the Cobra Kais. Daniel is taken in by the handyman at his apartment complex, Mr. Miyagi, who teaches him karate and mentors him to victory over the Cobra Kais at the local karate tournament. It is a foundational film of the 1980s and a classic tale of the underdog overcoming adversity. It makes this list because one of the most iconic scenes in the movie, and therefore in cinematic history in my opinion, is set on Halloween, when Daniel LaRusso goes to the Halloween dance at the school, dressed in a clever shower costume, and the Cobra Kais all come in matching skeleton costumes. The scene ends with the Cobra Kais attacking Daniel, and Mr. Miyagi coming to his rescue. In at number 9, Monster House is an animated horror comedy about DJ, a 12-year-old boy who suspects his neighbor's creepy old house is actually alive. On Halloween, DJ and his friends discover that the house is possessed by the spirit of the vengeful wife of its owner, Nevercracker, and it devours anything that comes near, from toys to people. The main trio teams up to stop the house and uncover Nevercracker's tragic past. The film, which blends scares with humor and heart, was written by Dan Harmon before his days with Rick and Morty, with both Steven Spielberg and Robert Zemeckis executive producing. It's fun and creepy and perfect for Halloween viewing with the family. Okay, in at number 8, I am including the Harry Potter movies. Now, each of the movies in the series actually spans an entire school year, including Halloween, Christmas, springtime, so they kind of fit nowhere and everywhere at once. However, especially in the first 3 movies of the series, Halloween plays a large part. For instance, in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Halloween is when Harry, Ron, and Hermione fight the troll in the bathroom. Additionally, these movies are just custom made for Halloween season, with witches, wizards, monsters, and ghosts galore.
How can you be nearly headless?
Like this.
At number 7, we have E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Spielberg's 1982 classic movie about a lovable alien stranded on Earth, just trying to get home.
E.T. phone home. Come home.
In the movie, a young boy named Elliot finds the little alien in his backyard and coaxes him inside with Reese's Pieces. Thereafter, Elliot bonds with the alien as he tries to help him contact his home planet so that he can be rescued. The pivotal scene when Elliot and his brother and sister attempt to smuggle E.T. out of their house takes place during Halloween and involves actually dressing E.T. up in a Halloween costume before embarking on a dramatic and iconic bike chase. One of the greatest movies of all time, it is a perfect fit for family-friendly Halloween movie night. Number 6 is Sleepy Hollow, Tim Burton's 1999 adaptation of the classic Washington Irving story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, originally published in 1820. It stars Johnny Depp as Ichabod Crane, a constable sent to the hamlet of Sleepy Hollow to investigate a series of gruesome decapitations. There he encounters the legend of the Headless Horseman, an undead Hessian soldier who rides through town terrorizing the locals, as well as uncovering a web of dark secrets and conspiracies amongst the townspeople. It is a classic Halloween tale blending mystery and horror with Tim Burton's signature Gothic style. It's the perfect seasonal escape. At number 5, It's the Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown is a true classic, originally airing in 1966. Now technically it's an animated television special, not exactly a movie, but it has grown into a tradition that is just as important as any other Halloween tradition. The fact that it's only 25 minutes long shouldn't detract from its cultural importance. Anyway, it follows the Peanuts gang as they celebrate Halloween, donning their costumes, going trick-or-treating, and attending a Halloween party at Violet's house. But Linus has other plans. He believes in the legend of the Great Pumpkin, who supposedly rises from the pumpkin patch on Halloween night to give gifts to the children, like the Santa Claus of Halloween. Obviously, the Great Pumpkin never materializes, and Linus misses out on all the evening's festivities for nothing. The Great Pumpkin was the first Halloween special ever on broadcast television and literally defined a new genre, and actually contributed to the spread of Halloween as a widely celebrated holiday. It was so popular, it's estimated that 49% of all American television viewers tuned in for the debut broadcast, and it has since been aired every year to continued mass popularity across multiple generations. It's just not Halloween without the Great Pumpkin. At number 4 is Trick or Treat, another Halloween staple. Released in 2007, it is an anthology horror film set on Halloween night in a small Midwest town, weaving 4 separate but interconnected stories together, including the first story, which is about a serial killer with a dark secret, the second about teens pulling a cruel prank, the third about a reclusive man facing a demonic trick-or-treater, and fourth, a woman wary of her boyfriend's intentions. Now the tales are all tied together through the now iconic Sam, a mysterious child wearing a sack head costume and enforcing the rules of Halloween on the townsfolk. Perfect blend of horror, dark humor, and moral lessons, it is a modern classic and a must-have selection on any Halloween movie list. In third place, The Crow, one of my all-time favorite movies and definitely a must-have on every serious Halloween movie checklist. Released in 1994, starring Brandon Lee, who tragically died during the filming of the movie, it follows a young musician, Eric Draven, who is murdered along with his fiancée on Devil's Night, the night before Halloween, by a gang of thugs working for a local crime boss. A year later, once again on Devil's Night, Eric is resurrected by a mystical crow in order to seek vengeance. He thus hunts down all of the gang members responsible for the murder, ultimately facing off against the crime boss himself, Top Dollar. His mission accomplished, he is then met by his fiancee's spirit, who comforts him and returns his body to rest. Dark, gothic, and exciting, The Crow is a cult classic with an outstanding soundtrack that captures the essence of the 1990s while still holding a timeless appeal, and it will always be near the top of my Halloween watch list.
Victims, aren't we all?
So coming in at second place, Tim Burton's stop-motion musical masterpiece, The Nightmare Before Christmas, released in 1993. The movie follows Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town, a spooky realm where the macabre is normal and is always dark and gloomy. Jack accidentally stumbles upon a doorway to Christmas Town, which is a place where it's always Christmas, filled with joy and wonder, and Jack becomes obsessed with it. Jack thus hijacks Christmas by kidnapping Santa Claus, but when his plan goes awry, he has to restore order with the help of his ragdoll admirer, Sally. It's funny, fun, heartfelt, and visually appealing, and it's filled with memorable musical numbers, all composed by Danny Elfman. Of course, it's a Tim Burton movie. Nightmare Before Christmas is another movie on this list that can be both a Halloween and Christmas movie, but it's definitely more Halloween-oriented. I mean, it's set in Halloween Town, for Christ's sakes. But it is interesting seeing the juxtaposition of the two holidays in such sharp relief, and it's a perfect watch not only on Halloween, but throughout the holiday season. Alright, I couldn't get through this list without having to make some tough choices, ultimately defining some classics out of contention, such as Paranorman, Coraline, and Rocky Horror Picture Show, because they don't actually mention Halloween in any meaningful sense. But there were still others that couldn't be ignored, even if not in my top 10 favorites. Silver Bullet from 1985 is an adaptation of Stephen King's short novel The Cycle of the Werewolf, starring the late Corey Haim as Marty, a disabled boy who discovers that a series of brutal murders in town are caused by a werewolf. As the violence escalates, Marty and his family seek to uncover the monster's identity, and they craft a silver bullet to use on the creature as the full moon falls on Halloween night. It's a fun, easy, nostalgic thriller that feels like the 80s. One of my favorites of the era, The Addams Family from 1991, is considered a dark comedy, although it's a very family-friendly take on the classic cartoon and sitcom. In it, a scheming con artist poses as Gomez's long-lost brother Fester in a plot to steal the Addams fortune. The plan backfires, as gradually it is revealed that the imposter actually is Gomez's long-lost brother Fester with amnesia. A lot of fun, great visuals, and excellent acting by the all-star cast. Halloween only plays a small part near the end, but this movie was custom made for the holiday. So finally, the number one greatest Halloween movie ever is Halloween, of course. John Carpenter's defining achievement, reinventing the slasher horror for a new generation, and hell, every generation since, with the creation of one of the most enduring villains in cinema history, Michael Myers, and his unnervingly expressionless mask. The film follows the terrifying killer who escapes a mental institution and stalks Laurie Strode, famously played by Jamie Lee Curtis, killing all her friends along the way. She manages to survive through her own resilience and resourcefulness. This movie really served to popularize the slasher film and establish tropes such as the unstoppable killer and the final girl, paving the way for films like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. With a budget of only $325,000, it went on to gross over $70 million worldwide and spawned a franchise spanning at least 13 sequels and remakes, and its influence persists to this day. It has not only become a Halloween tradition, it has become a pop culture phenomenon that is practically synonymous with the holiday itself. Interesting side note, one of the filming locations in Halloween was 1428 North Genesee Avenue in Los Angeles. Now that house is notable because it became even more famous a few years later when it was used as the iconic home of Nancy Thompson in Wes Craven's masterpiece horror movie A Nightmare on Elm Street. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this list of the greatest Halloween movies of all time. Again, there aren't as many movies that are explicitly set on or are about Halloween as I would have imagined. And remember, I will be releasing a list of greatest horror movies later this month in advance of Halloween, so if something didn't quite fit my requirements for a Halloween movie, it may still make the cut for my horror list. Check back soon for that video. Well, what do you think? Are there any Halloween movies that I missed? Are there any that you like and didn't make the list? Join the conversation in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Bye for now. We hope to see you next time in the Culture Ward.